Those fingers looked good. Did you play trumpet or something as a kid?
Yes, yes, I did.
You looked like you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, no, I was almost professional.
Are you bullshitting?
Yeah.
I'm too gullible. I was like, you could have been.
I should have stuck with it. I should have dug in deeper. No, I never played a trumpet a day in my life. Thank you. I'm just an actor. I'm just an
And
actor
a
doing my
dancer.
best and a dancer.
A
And
dancer.
and I'm here with with Melanie Schubert. Um, welcome to the show, everyone. Excuse that long pause. If you might not have seen my face, but my face is aglow. And I feel like Melanie Schubert's face is aglow as well. We've had good news today. I just I feel like such a proud little mama.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, welcome to Of the Publishing Persuasion. I'm Angela Montoya, author of Sinner's Isle and Cruel Thirst, and I'm here with Melanie Schubert, author of Severed Cape from the Castle of Horror anthology, Revenge. Did I just say it right?
But you kill it every time, but I
Okay,
see
good.
your hesitation every time, but you
I
kill it.
do. I don't know why. I'm always like, oh, because their thing is called something different.
Castle Bridge Media. I also had to
Yes.
think of it. You're right.
Anyway, I'm here with Melanie Schubert, author of Severed Cape from the Castle of Horror anthology, Revenge, Volume 11. Um, Melanie, Melanie, is there anything you'd like to talk about today, or do you have any notes? Do you have any subjects in mind?
Listen, I've literally got my vape out because I'm like gonna have a fucking anxiety attack.
No.
Because
An
I'm like,
excited anxiety
yeah,
attack.
obvious, majorly excited, like overstimulated, like elated. My brain is melting.
Yeah.
So yeah, like maybe I'll literally just wait since I can't drop this episode before your girl's event anyway, because I've got all the others. I might as well just say it all and then drop it whenever that news is. Don't you reckon?
Yeah. Whatever the hell you want to do. This is your day. This is your show. This is an event from Melanie Schubert. You do and say whatever you feel comfortable doing and saying on this here June day.
Well, you know I have no filter.
Well, how about you take us through like let's go back a little bit. Like how has your querying journey been these last few, let's go a few months
Months.
or like like
How
tell us a
far
little bit
back did
about
it
your,
go?
yeah,
It's
like tell
funny
us a little
because,
bit about your query journey, Melanie.
okay, good place to start. It's funny because I just literally, oh, Kelly Escobar put this post up the other day about like, give us your numbers. And I was like, yeah, shit, like what would mine be now? And yeah, it's quite sobering to like think about and realize that like, yeah, I mean, if we're going to count the years I was querying Gregory and the Grimbuckle, it would be even longer. But I tend to count after that because that's when I started seriously researching how to be a writer. So that book came out in 2017. So shit. Like, what are we talking now? Like 6, 7 years? I can't do math.
Yeah, we'll go with that number.
It's at
I
least
don't,
6 years that
yeah.
I've been putting right, making new work and getting it into the trenches and getting rejections. Like I would say the number was in. I suddenly feel emotional.
You
I think
should.
I've been so overstimulated. I haven't actually like had a little where about it.
Yeah. You haven't, have you?
Uh when I read it, like I couldn't stop, a few tears just came out of nowhere, but I didn't have an ugly cry. I was just like, yeah, so I digress, but it's kind of given away. I'm giving away the surprise, but it wouldn't be right because as we know, my brain is a like ADHD mess at the best of times. Let alone now. You're so patient with me. Yeah, like I would say it's gotten into the 300 mark at this point of rejections. I wouldn't even be able to count them all because I've changed emails and yeah, lots and lots of rejections and always feeling close, always feeling that sense of like the carrot is just dangling,
Hmm.
just out of reach to bite it. You know what I mean? Do you remember that feeling of like I'm close, but like not, it's just not quite. But that's the feeling I've been chasing for years. And like, yeah, this morning I was like, I'd been editing one of our episodes and I was like, literally it's been so many rejections. And I was like, I'm PMS, so I was like grouchy. And an email came through from an agent that I'd been waiting to hear back from. And I was like, I'll just read it now. I'll just read my rejection now and just add it to the list of hundreds. And I just kind of, which is like not normal for me. Usually I'd be like, okay, get your morning coffee, go on your walk, send to yourself. You know, it could be either way. But I was like, let's just get it over with. And yeah, like I'm still reading that email again and again today to just like make sure like did I misread it? Like did I like because the language is so similar as rejection at the start until
Hmm.
it's not. Until it's not. And so yeah, I'm really grateful to you for just like spurring me on this morning because from the time I got that email to a few hours later, I made the call and I had the call and it went really well. There's things in my inbox now that I could not have imagined like a couple days ago that would be there. And yeah, so that escalated.
That it escalated fast. It escalated really, really fast. It yes, when Melanie sent it like into the group chat, it was a couple pictures, and I think you were like, "Is this real?" or
Mm.
something like that. And I read it and I read it again because yeah, your brain instantly goes, "Okay,
Yeah.
don't get excited. Let's reread. What is she asking?" Um,
And I send you a lot of crap. Like
yeah,
over the years, I've sent you a lot of random screenshots of like partials or fulls or whatever and been like, oh my God, you know, over that. So it could have
yeah,
been anything.
it could have been anything. But when I saw, like, we probably don't have to say names yet,
No,
but
no.
when I saw who it was from and I saw exclamation points,
Mm,
and I just instantly was like, I started crying from
yeah.
so I was just so excited for you because you've been working so hard for this and
Mm,
you are such a talented writer and I just had such a good feeling when you sent it to this person in the
mm,
first place because this person is so
warm.
awesome,
Yeah.
warm and excited and I knew when that person, that agent, dare I say,
Mm,
um, had mentioned, like, oh, I love Australia and like and and stories from there. And I want to explore that. I thought, oh,
mm,
this could be something.
mm.
And so when it was this person in particular, I was just so excited. So I read the email over and over again.
Yeah.
And then I started crying and I was just so happy. And Armando came in and he was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, I just got the best news." And he was like, "Oh, did you get paid?" And I said, "No."
That would be great news though.
Yeah, I was like, "No, it's not even about me." Melanie, and I was explaining
Mm,
about this special email. And so it's just it's so fun to see your friends'
mm,
dreams come true.
mm.
And so I'm so happy for you. How are you for you?
I don't even know what to feel. Like it's yeah, obviously great. I don't know, like maybe a more raw feeling is relief. Like
Hmm.
yeah, like I did it. Like it wasn't wasted. Like
Yeah.
and that you can never not that it would ever be wasted. And I think I've done a lot of brain work to like just be grateful for the journey as well. But there's something like about actually reaching a goal that you're like, wow, I was right to bet on myself, you know?
Mm,
It's such a
mm,
scary thing to do. And it's why I'm such a like, just so proud of all of us in this fucking industry because there's just no guarantees. There's like a lot, so much waiting, so much rejection. And yeah, like it has been so much rejection. And there's literally been so many times where I was just like, shit, like, am I crazy to still be doing this after all this time? I think I feel it really acutely having been doing it full time for many years now. So I'm like, am I pouring all these years and like it's just not the right path? But you still feel it, you know? And that's the thing
hmm.
though, you've got to just back yourself, you know? And it's such
Yeah.
a frightening thing to do to take a bet on yourself, but I just don't see any other way to live. Like you're dying one way or another.
Might as well just die
Might
happy
as
while you do
well
it.
do what you like want to, you know, like what your heart pulls you to do. So, but yeah, so completely to say it's unexpected today is like the understatement of the year, which is what people always say. It's like when you kind of forget about it, and it's so funny because until the anthology came out, I had been religiously like sending out more queries, marking off my list when people got back to me. But I haven't even looked at it. I had to like go back and there was a bunch of rejections that had floated through and I hadn't even marked them off. So I've just haven't even, I have kind of just forgotten a little bit that it was
Yeah.
happening. And I'm so glad I did because it's like a special kind of hell when you're watching the query box.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
think
what to do with myself. If you
no,
have any ideas, I'm
well, I think you go and get yourself a coffee, which you might already have done, but you
yeah,
go get yourself snacks first.
yeah, bless
Snacks are
my
mandatory.
yes. Bless my
Get your
friends at the
gluten-free
cafe.
pizza.
I'll send you a photo. I usually take my own keep cup to this cafe and I ran down, but I was in all of a flutter because I was about to take the agent call and he gave me this cup. He's like, this is a special one. It was his cup. And when he put the water in, it like revealed this big naked guy with his dick and balls out. And I was like, that's the good energy I need for this call right now. It's like, that's a friend who like really cares.
Yes, that's exactly it. Beautiful, a beautiful moment.
A beautiful full circle moment. So yeah,
Mhm.
I will, I don't know. I guess I'll have some kind of announcement soon, one way or another. Shit. Shit.
Yeah, yeah, you really fucking will. Like it's it's here, it's happening.
I know. I'm
Like
like at a loss for words a lot at the moment.
yeah.
Like even just doing our interview now, I had to really channel my professionalism to like be focused at all, which I think you
I,
thought because you were like very onto it. So I that was noted and appreciated because I just my brain just kept going off on a little tangent.
I did notice. Yeah.
I
I
could
was like,
not focus. That's why I
"Ah,
got my CBD vape out, which is doing a very friendly job. Thank you very
good,
much.
good, good, good. No, well, it would be impossible to concentrate when you get
Yeah.
that sort of news. I mean, yeah, I was having a hard time concentrating, and it wasn't me that was had the call today. So
Yeah,
I
but
I
you're
love
part of
it.
my tribe. So yeah,
Yeah,
I know the feeling as well of being like so beside yourself, excited for your friends as well. Like I have been for you. And it's like
yeah.
some like you said, there's something special about like watching your friends succeed. So yeah, it's and I think there's something about like wanting to make your friends proud as well. Like I feel like, yeah, they believed in me for a reason too. Like you it wasn't for nothing.
Not at all.
That
Not at
it
all.
ever would be, but you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
the raw human thought that's somewhere deep inside that you're just like, yeah,
yeah.
now now my friends can be proud of me too, even though they always were. But yeah.
Now we could be extra, extra, extra proud. Yeah. Well, it's funny because, so often like we say this on the podcast of just like uh, being an author is basically just not quitting. You know what I mean? It's like you just keep going and
Yes.
eventually you'll get the answer that you've been hoping for.
Mm,
And this is it right here. Like this is the proof. You just keep going and eventually you will get the yes and it's going to be a great yes.
mm.
And and no matter what happens, like like you
Yeah,
got the yes, you got the call.
that's what I would want to say, like to people who are like feeling that fear of like, that yawning fear that I've felt for many years of like, is it ever gonna happen? It's just like, but if you keep putting in the work, and I think sometimes the amount of time when you think six, I actually depressed myself putting that post up yesterday because I was like, it forced me to be like for a second, whoa, like 6 years, seven if you're counting the first indie book or whatever. And it's just like sometimes the gravity of time can make you feel concerned that you maybe are in the wrong place.
Hmm.
But I think like if you really feel that thing and you have all these stories in you, just keep writing them. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like those of us, one of my favorite quotes is like, I think it's R.L. Stein, and they're like, people ask me, what do you say to writers, people who want to be a writer? He's like, I don't need to say anything to them. They already know. And
Hmm.
like, kind of like that, if you really want to do that, there's just this thing that you just keep telling stories, even when we hate it, even when revisions are slogging us, even when we're like depressed about it.
Yeah.
Stories keep coming. And
Yeah.
yeah, I know you've been feeling that too with your recent work. Just like, how are you feeling this week? Let's distract. I'll take a moment to calm my quivering cloaca. Let's turn it to
Okay.
back to you for a moment.
Okay.
How are
I'll
you?
take it. I'll take it over while you breathe. Have your CBD moment.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I've had a great last week of
Yeah.
writing. It's been so,
You're
so
writing.
good. Yeah. Well, so I
You're
finished,
writing now.
no, same thing. But I finished it, but now I'm back to the very beginning and
I see.
adding things, digging deeper, adding more magic and these like little notes that I'm adding into it. And it gets me so excited. Um, so I feel great. I feel really, really excited about digging deeper into this next round. I'm already almost halfway through this
Mm,
next round of revisions. I know like the last half is a lot messier and there's things I already have to change,
mm,
but this first half um has like kind of it felt like like a breath of fresh air
yeah.
because I was slogging through that first fast round like
Mm.
I don't know if I like this. But now that I'm back and I'm digging deeper, I really love this book. I think it's going to be
Yes.
really sweet, like just really devastatingly
Oh,
sweet. Yeah, so I'm really excited and I've had a few friends read it. I've had my friend Carolina, Davona, my friend Alex. I'm just naming names that nobody, but my friends will know. My friends will know. My friends will know.
your friends will appreciate the shout
Yeah.
out.
My friend Rachel, thank you. Shout out. Yeah, I've had readers, friends, authors, people reading it, and it's been really fun getting their feedback,
Yeah.
and it's been great feedback because normally my first like 50 pages are so
Mm.
like messy or I'm just like trying to figure it out, but I feel like this time I got it.
Yes.
Because I'm plotting some things. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but I've
it
seen
feels
that
good.
in you every fucking book you level up, and like every book you kind of get to the juicy can't put it down earlier and earlier and earlier. Because I think that's the thing with drafts though. We start telling ourselves the story And it's often not starting in the right place. It's often like giving information that might not be unput downable, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes. I,
yes,
I
yes
I
to
was
that.
reading like Lainey Taylor, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and
Yeah.
just kind of watching how she did things.
Ooh,
And she
that's
took her
smart.
time. Yeah, she took her time on these like juicy things, but she was giving us stuff that got you intrigued. But like the real juicy stuff was coming. She was preparing for the juiciness. So I was like, wow, watching the master work.
Dang, if you pull off Lainey Taylor beats, that you'll be unstoppable.
A girl can
Maybe
dream.
I mean you're already up there with the Lainey Taylors.
Yeah, a girl could dream.
But see, this is also the
Yeah.
thing about the fast draft. Even though it feels like suffering through it, but like now you have it there. And I think you've always been really great at once you have some kind of spine. I think one of your skills is those first revisions and teasing out the story to be bigger and more fleshy.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's what where the fun part is for me is like
Yeah.
digging in and making it giving it the flesh, the muscles,
Mhm.
the
Skin
veins.
will.
Yeah. Yeah. Little cloaca even. I'll just put it in there. Put it in there
Give it a little
all of it.
cloaca just for us.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me in our Discord that they heard somebody mention something about cloacas on the news or a podcast or something, and they were like, "Yeah, cloaca rep." I'm just like, "Yeah, we just single-handedly made cloacas trend, and we're
Yeah,
taking that
trending. It's trending right now
now."
on
Nothing could be
X.
better. But yeah, listen, I don't really know what I'm going to do with myself today.
I feel like you need to order like a gluten-free pizza
That's
and just like
I would
watch a
100%
show.
do that if I hadn't had pizza twice on the weekend.
Your body was already preparing you.
It
Your
was
body was like, good news is coming, pizza time.
I think I might go get a Chinese massage after when Phil gets home. Um,
Yes.
there's these like two much older ladies near us who do it. And I swear, like when I haven't done my acupuncture for a while, it's almost as good going to them because what they do, the way they massage you, it's not just like I've been to fucking day spas that charged hundreds of dollars and gotten like one time I got this like gifted a voucher and it was like this five-star hotel. The service was hundreds of dollars and they were just like pawing at me. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
no.
great. That's nothing. But these freaking grannies, they put their damn souls into massaging you. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I feel like my soul's gonna jump out of my body while they rub me down because they do not play. They hit these pressure points and everything. But I have walked out of their thing feeling like 10 years younger every time. Like my whole spine sits differently. They do like a head massage and like
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
they push something really hard in your face and you're like, fuck, is my face gonna break? But they know what they're doing and it never breaks.
It doesn't break. It doesn't break.
Doesn't
The
break.
face
That's
stays.
the
Yeah.
important thing. So yeah, I might go
Yeah.
see them and let them try break my face.
Yeah, let them break your face. Yes. Are you a big like drinker? Like, do you like beer or I don't know
I
if I've ever
love
really asked you
drinking, but
this.
drinking doesn't love me. I have to be
Ah.
careful how much I drink or like my pH gets thrown off and I get a UTI.
Oh no.
No. But alas. So
Well
yeah.
then, hey, get a gluten-free snacky poo, little cookies, little specialty something.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just all about
still
the
have my
snacks.
days, don't worry. I went from being like, there was a stage we went through, especially like when we were living in the van in Japan, every town has its own sake brewery. So
Oh.
like we fucking partook, my friend. Like we partook. I mean, I was still under 30, so like my body was able to process it way better.
Yeah.
We had a new bottle of sake in the camper van every night because why would you not when
Well,
each one
yeah.
is different? There was very few nights over the 6 months that we were not delightfully tiddly. None, I'm not condoning regular excessive drinking.
Just getting delightfully tiddly. Yes.
So I've had my time in the sun, but yeah, now I have to be a bit more careful. But I'll still have like, a good boozy day here and
Yeah,
there.
I think a good tiddly day is
Yeah,
is good too.
yeah. There'll be some tittles tonight for sure.
Oh, tickle tiddles.
There'll be
Ah,
tittles.
yeah. Well, I don't know what you feel like if you want to like talk about like the
Yeah.
call that you were
Oh,
on today. She got the email today and she got the call today. The Zoom
yeah.
call, mind you. Was it a Zoom call?
Yeah.
Was it face to face?
Face to face. Like this. Like exactly like this. She was so cute. She had like a little PowerPoint presentation and everything.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So yeah, literally like I denied because initially she had said, "Oh, let me know sometime next week." Actually, it's all thanks to you. Honestly, it's thanks to you the call happened today. Because you were straight away like, "What about this week?"
I know I couldn't help it. I was like, if you can do it, get on that call.
Yeah, and I denied about adding a line in that was like, "Or later this week." Or I think I said or later this week, yeah. So I added it in right before I sent it, just in brackets, or later this week. And literally, she replied and she was like, gave me some times later in the week and next week. And she was like, or if you happen to be free now or in the next hour or so, we could do it then. And I was like, uh, my initial was like, actually, my initial was probably like, yes. And then I was like, no. I was like, take your time. There's no rush, whatever. But then I don't know, the longer I sat with it and just talking with you, I was like, I realized I wasn't afraid of the call anymore. And
Mm,
like that would not have been the same last year or any other year before that. I would have been quaking in my boots. But again, like thanks to this podcast, I'm so
yeah.
to like zooming people that terrify me. Like how many
Yeah.
agents
Yeah.
we've had on, how many times we've had on an agent that was like currently reading my manuscript and I'd just be like, just play it cool. It's just like timing, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like really prepared me for that. So it didn't feel like like I say, I'm definitely overstimulated a bit, but not as much as I would have expected to be, and not
Yeah.
as frazzled and overwhelmed by it all. Because I guess yeah, it's been a lot of years working towards it. I've had my amazing writer family who have like kind of gone ahead of me and have the answers to all the questions that I have. So no, I'm really, really grateful for the nudge because I think if I didn't jump on that call straight away this morning, it wasn't perfect. I didn't have every question sorted. But what I can tell you is even if I memorized all the questions, the right questions, I wouldn't have remembered them anyway.
Yeah.
Even if I was like calmer than I expected, but every fucking rational thought flies out of your head when you're having such a high velocity call anyway.
Yes.
She was such a sweetheart and she answered pretty much any question I would have had and was like, if you need another call, we can do another call. So like if I have other questions, I can
Yeah. And you can always email, like there's always ways to get a hold of them.
100%. But so thank you for like giving me that bit of a big magic nudge to just do it because I can't tell you how relieved I am to not have it hanging over me,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
already have it in motion.
Yeah.
You're right. It would have driven me nuts. That I
That's
don't
how
get
I would have been.
to the next few days trying to like mentally prepare for it.
Yeah.
Whereas like when I think I'm best on the fly because I know nothing's really expected. You're just going just with the raw you? Because
Yes.
what
Well, and
people
I knew you knew this
mm,
person. And I know her personality and your person like you guys could have just been on the phone just chatting anyways, just about anything. So I knew like it wasn't going to be this uncomfortable,
yeah.
we don't know each other, I don't know your personality sort of situation. So I knew it was going to be fine. But I because I am impatient, I was like if it was me, I'd be on the call. But I was like, but if you don't feel comfortable, take your time. I had to throw that in there because I didn't want to feel like I was pushing you, but I was like,
No, it was perfect. It was just what I needed. because it kind of reminded me that like in here I felt, yeah, like I think that's just like for how long I've been doing it. Like I've kind of worked out a lot about myself. And ultimately, like when you're having like an important conversation, I feel like being grounded in myself and knowing what I want and kind of like already knowing that, like, without meaning to, like, I already know I'm going to be a great client. Like, I'm ready to like
Yes.
work for her, if that makes sense. Even like I accidentally said something about, I was like, oh, like as an asset, like I would see something about being an asset to her. Oh, because I'm like do it full time. I was like, maybe that would be something that would be like an asset of mine. She's like, but she's like, no, she's like, I never use that kind of language about my clients. She's like, it's like she wanted it to not be business language. She wanted it to be like, you're a unique individual and I like
Hmm.
cherish your artistic thing. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. It's like she's just a gem. She's just a gem.
She is though. And she's, you know, a writer too. So she
Yeah.
gets how our brains work.
I
So,
think it makes all the difference. But
yeah.
yeah, who who the shit knew? Who the shit knew?
Who the shit? We knew. Of course we knew. That's why we've been out here working. We knew it was coming. You've been preparing for this, bitch. You knew it was coming.
We manifested it. It did feel
Yes.
like a season of change, a very
It's been
powerful
feeling that
year.
way for you. It's been feeling that like in my witchy senses.
Yeah.
Like ever since the anthology came to be, there was a shift.
There was, wasn't
And yes, it was an energy shift of like, oh,
there?
like look what I can do.
Yeah.
And also like you said, your mind has been on that. So you haven't been like
Yeah, yeah,
focused
yeah.
the negative like worry about queering. You're like, yeah, I'm still working on that shit, but I also have this anthology coming out.
Yeah.
So the shift has had happened. I felt it. I knew it. As soon as you got in the anthology, I was like, it's coming. My witch's sense was tingling.
Yes, I'm surrounded by lots of powerful witches and bitches, and I could not be happier.
That's right.
It's
It's true.
glorious.
All the magic for you. Well, speaking of a witch, maybe not a bitch, but a bad bitch. We have a
Yes.
bad bitch witch on today,
You took the
Miss
segue
Rosalie.
out of my mouth, my friend. Glorious. If I do
Just
say so
ripped it right
myself.
out. Yes. It was in your thought and it just
You
popped into my
stole
brain.
it.
Yes, I did. I really
Well,
did.
go on, it's your turn, seeing as I've read that fucking massive bio last
Oh.
week. Oh, not last week, the week before. Good Lord. I was just editing it and I was fucking pissing myself. It's so, so long. I did find, I don't know if you noticed on the actual post, I trolled the internet until I found another company that had her bio and they had rewritten it. So I used
They
their.
did. That's smart. Yeah, that was something.
He
Oh,
was
I love
dirty.
Rosalie's. I love Rosalie's. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me read this for you.
Mm.
Rosalie M. Lin is a Chinese American writer from the San Francisco Bay Area. She has, at various points in the past decade, graduated with a degree in comparative literature, pole
Ooh,
danced in two Beijing nightclubs, and dropped out of a biomedical PhD program before seriously pursuing her original dream of becoming an author. Daughter of Calamity is her first novel.
I did
I
love that.
love that.
And I love her. And I find her to be one of the most fascinating people ever.
Yes, I was so as soon as she started talking about like her college experience and like
Yeah.
dancing overseas, I was like, tell me more. She's so interesting.
So interesting. I want to hear all. We're gonna just have to have her back on because I feel like our time evaporated as per usual. And
Yes.
I want to hear all her amazing stories because yeah, she's lived a life.
No, yeah. And you honestly, you would love Daughter of Calamity. It's so, so
It's
interesting.
spooky.
It's
It
cool.
sounds amazing.
It's like there's yeah, there is like spooky, not
Mm,
like scary, but there's just like it like boggles your mind. It's so interesting. You have to read it. It's so
I will.
cool.
I will.
Yeah.
Like out of many guests we've had on, I was just like, ooh.
I know, I saw you like lean back and I thought, oh,
It's
she's
like,
got
hang
her.
on, hang on. I'm gonna need a coffee. Dun, dun, dun,
See,
dun.
waiting for the
Oops.
queen.
Waiting for the
Hello,
queen.
my lovely friends.
Hello.
Hello.
Good
How are
evening and
you?
good morning.
Yes. Oh, it's actually
Oh,
good afternoon as of 3 minutes
Oh,
ago.
it's good afternoon.
yes. Did you
Yeah.
just, if I remember correctly, like, did you just fly in? Like, are you just getting back from something or no?
I just flew to San Diego and then I just hurriedly finished everything for work. So I was like, my work laptop is here, and then I switched to my personal laptop. This is
Oh,
my
you got
lovely
two.
Airbnb in San Diego.
Uh, oh, you're an Airbnb. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, you look, that hotel looks homey. Okay, that makes
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sense.
yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it.
It's a cool feature
Amazing.
wall or whatever that is behind the bed.
It's a
That's
mirror. Oh, yeah, yeah, it is. I didn't even have time to admire it, but
You've been
Oh,
busy. You've been
yeah.
busy.
How about you
And
two?
it's,
I saw a
yeah,
live animal wander through the back.
over here in my
Yeah.
back. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
dog. He'll make a cameo here and there, but he usually, as soon as he hears me talking, he leaves.
Aw.
So, yeah, that's okay though. It's
well,
fine.
thank
Yeah,
you
I
for
can hear you
joining
going
us
upstairs.
on your travels. That's
Oh, of course, of course. I was tired, but as soon as I saw you two, I'm now energized and ready to go.
Back. Yeah, so many freaking exciting things are happening for you. I mean, we'll get into all the bookish stuff, I guess. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm so excited for you because I did get to read an arc of your book and it's like nothing I've ever read. It's
Oh,
fucking amazing. So
I'm so
congratulations. I
jealous.
hope you get to celebrate all over. I'll be seeing you this weekend.
Yeah.
But first, like, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
mm.
Okay. I am Rosalie M. I am from the San Francisco Bay Area. I have been a lifelong dancer, and that has heavily influenced Daughter of Calamity. I know that you two both like dancing because I see you dancing on Instagram. So, and then Daughter of Calamity is my debut novel.
Oh
Mm.
my gosh. She
I mean,
really
I
is.
like dancing, but I wouldn't profess to actually be a dancer.
I mean, you look great.
Oh,
Dance is
stop
all
it,
about
you.
vibes.
Stop
It's
it.
all about vibes and facial expressions.
Uh,
That's it. Yeah, Melanie's got face. When
Yes.
she's dancing, she's got the face. Well, okay, I want to ask a fun random facts. We want to get to know you even deeper. We want to dig
mm.
in. And one of our hardest questions is, what is the strangest thing you own?
That I own.
Yeah.
Oh, I own probably a lot of strange things. Well, but give me a second to think about what's the strangest.
So hard to choose.
So hard to choose the strangest object.
Mm.
Well, currently it's probably a half-dead cactus infected with scale that I'm trying to save.
Oh, I love a pity project plant.
Pretty much it. Yeah, yesterday I was like, I was going to the gym and I spent 2 hours scraping these pests off of it instead with a Q-tip.
Oh,
Oh,
you were committed.
I had that on my ficus. It's not fun. It's hard to
Oh,
get them
it's
all.
not fun. It kind of gives like triggers my fear of what do you call it? The fear of holes.
Oh yeah, the
Oh,
tryptophobia or something.
Yes, that.
oh,
Mm.
dang. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll bless you for continuing to do the good work and bringing this cactus back. We wish you all the best in
Thank
your cactus
you.
adventure.
I just bought a saw. I think I'm just gonna chop off the good part and
Mm.
replant it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might work too, huh? Yeah, that's the good thing with
Yeah.
cacti. I think you could just right? Like succulents. Is it the same sort of
Yeah.
thing? You
You
just
can just
like,
pop it and continue, I think. Never
Mm.
tried it, but
well, good luck
yeah,
with
everyone
that.
told me to throw it out, but I'm still trying.
Aw,
I think
I
that
have
shows a
faith.
lot of your personality right there. Like you're like, nope, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna bring this bad boy
Yeah.
back. Yeah. What
Yeah.
is something you think about way too often?
Mm.
Um, Probably how much money I spend on coffee and boba.
Relatable.
I probably think about that once a day and then I go get the way I think about it, if it motivates me to get out of bed,
Mm.
the thing I struggle with the most is I'm not a morning person, but if I want to fit in everything like writing, dancing, and work, I need to get up pretty early. And so I
Mm.
do drop like I think where I live, it's around, I mean, I'm embarrassed to say it's $7 to $9 per cup of coffee or boba.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if that's an investment I'll make to get out of bed and get started. But I think about that every morning.
Listen, I feel you because I live in Melbourne, coffee capital, and yeah, the price of coffee, it's definitely up there. And I think about that too. I'm just like, especially if I got two, if I was naughty and I got two, and I was like, ooh, now we're heading into the double figures. But
Yeah,
yeah,
the double.
like,
Yeah, yeah. Or if I got like a cookie or a croissant.
Oh yeah. That's when you
yeah,
know you're living large. You're like, you know what? I deserve this.
but
But I
it's
guess I
worth
need to
it.
visit Melbourne. I need to visit Melbourne for the coffee.
Yes, I'll tell you all the places.
Okay.
But I mean, it's yeah,
So,
what price can
yeah.
you put on joy, my friends? That's what I'll ask you. Like,
True.
if you think about it's a cup of joy, then it's like you're like, yeah, I could pay that.
Exactly. Joy and
It's honestly,
motivation.
it
Yeah.
is. It's funny. I was just having this conversation with my daughter, who drives. And so I was like, well, where's all your money gone? And she's like,
Mhm.
well, to Target and to snacks. And I was like, yeah, I get it. Like Target and
Very
snacks.
important. Target and snacks. Yes.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite like boba order?
Ooh. I would say I have a different one at every single place, but I would say recently, and this was actually introduced to me by another 2024 debut author, Julie Leong. It's the durian latte at
Ooh.
Outset Coffee in the Mission District in San Francisco.
Ooh, and
It's a
what
very
Ooh.
toppings would you be getting?
controversial flavor.
Yeah,
Oh, is
I
it?
Yeah.
is there like fresh durian in it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's fresh durian. They told me they get a lot of refunds because the description says like fruit from Thailand, so people think it's gonna be like Thai tea. And so when you
Gotcha.
order it, they call you aside and they're like, "Are you sure you know what this is? Are you sure you want it?" And then
So tell me, what
Ah,
does
and
it
you like
taste
it.
like? I don't know if I've actually braved it yet, other than maybe in some kind of candy, which the sugar would have canceled it.
well,
What?
surprisingly, the bitterness and the like kind of aroma of coffee, it neutralizes the pungent odor of durian, so you just get this creamy sweetness. That's what I think.
Mm.
But it's still their drink with the most refunds. So maybe most people disagree.
I'm gonna have to
That's
try. My
amazing.
go-to boba is like a grapefruit green tea with pearls and like lychee jellies.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
refreshing.
So refreshing. And if they
sounds
have herbal
good.
jelly, I love the herbal jelly too.
Yes, herbal jelly
Wow.
is the
So
best.
good.
Dang. Mine is boring. I just do like
What's
a
yours?
rose milk tea and boba. That's it.
Rose milk
Wait,
tea is
oh,
cool.
yeah, rose
Good
milk
though.
tea
Yeah.
is good, and that's perfect for our event on Sunday.
Mm.
Yes. I'll bring it with me. Maybe not, but
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. That's
exciting that you two are going to do this event together. I mean, like,
I'm pumped.
it's a pity I can't
I'm
get the
pumped.
podcast out before it. We could have done a good little plug.
then I can spoil it. The special drink at that event is the cherry rose milk tea. I was like, can I say it? Can I not?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, that's
That's,
cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
now
you
I'm double excited, triple excited now.
you
That's
just became my
amazing.
new favorite person. You already were, but again, because literally one of my goals
Oh,
was to one day serve boba at a book event. And I'm like, you're doing the thing. That's like the
oh, well,
magical boba.
I gotta send you one all the way over there. I'll pack it up nicely and dry ice.
That would make me
I love
beyond
that.
happy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, boba aside, I want to know, like, did you know you always wanted to be a writer?
Mm,
I think since I was 7 or 8 years old, I guess that's as long as I can reasonably remember.
mm,
Um, I mean, strangely, before that, I hated reading. And then it was
yeah,
like one day it just the switch flipped. And then
mm,
um I think it was because at school I made some friends and then I managed to convince them to act out some ideas I had. So then I started writing Warrior Cats fan fiction, if you all know what that is, and
Yeah.
then getting my friends to act it out. And then I actually got a lot of people in trouble with the principal. They were like, no scratching each other in the face during recess. Like, that is not allowed. Yeah, and I guess since then I haven't changed that much at my core. A few days ago, I shot a book trailer for my book, and I was thinking
mm.
we're back to being 8 years old. I wrote a book, and now I'm making my friends act it out.
That's
Yeah,
the
full
best.
circle moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
full circle.
Mm.
Yep.
I
I
feel like
love
that's just the
that.
best way to be though. Like if you're having fun with it and it so shows with like also your dance skills are like amazing. So I feel like taking it just feels right that you started like little plays with your friends in school and that it kind of has become something you can actually use in your
Yes, definitely. It's original now.
yeah,
Less
Yeah.
less people were harmed in the making. Yes.
less facial scratches.
Yes.
I love it. I love watching the music video you did. Is that the trailer that you're talking about? Where
That's
like,
the one.
yes,
Yes.
I loved it. My eyes kept going to you when you were dancing, but like the main girl that was holding the book and she had like the beautiful dress. I was like, this is
Mm.
it.
Oh, I'm
You are
glad.
in your prime moment right here.
Yay, I'm
Yeah.
glad you think so.
Oh, heck yeah. No, I loved it. Seriously. Now, we all first met during Pitch Wars. You know, rest in peace to Pitch Wars. But like how was that experience for you? Like, do you feel like that's what shaped you to become who you are now, or like just another stop on the road on the journey?
I think it was life-changing, as it probably was for a lot of us. I mean, I think probably the most value, I maybe there were two most valuable things I got from it. One was definitely the community, like being
Mm.
on this podcast with you two. I still remember when you first launched it after Pitch Wars, like way back. That I remember I was one of the first followers of your Instagram account.
Oh.
Um, and then, I mean, just like, for example, on my book tour, I think
Mm.
almost every event I'm doing is with some Pitch Wars of alumni from our class. Like
I see.
tomorrow, I'm doing one with Leanne, and then I'm doing one with
Yes.
Angela, and then I'm doing another one with Sarah Hashem in San Francisco. And so, and along the way, I think this community is just so, so, so valuable to me. And
Mm.
I remember during the intro for Pitch Wars, I forget which person was saying, one of the Pitch Wars organizers was saying that when their first book came out, um, three people from their class showed up at their launch event. And I was like, oh, that's so special. But now I realize that's just the norm for our
Mm.
bonded community. And the second way it probably changed my writing career forever was before that, I really had no idea what I was doing. I think it's really hard to find like information on how to write a novel. Like short story, I feel like it's a lot easier to pick that up from like an online class or something,
Mm.
but an actual novel, just the amount of depth and understanding you need, it really takes like a one-on-one type of like relationship with a mentor that it's really hard to find out there. So that was also life-changing.
So,
Yeah.
so what happened after Pitch Wars? Now, did you like query right after that, or what was your publishing journey like from
Ooh.
after that to now?
So interesting to reflect back on that. It wasn't that long ago, it was maybe 3 years ago, but it feels like a different lifetime. I
Yeah.
think right, so I signed with my agent, Kirsten, right after the showcase, like not that long after. After that, I think I did two whole scale revisions on my novel, which took 1.5 years.
Mm.
And then I went on sub in early or like spring of 2022.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
was almost a while ago.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, back then it felt like this day, like debut day would never come. But then once,
Sure.
like the last month has just like flown by. And then in between 2022 and now has just been a blur. I thought it would pass really slowly.
Mm.
But in between, I watched like so many of like our friends' books come out. Like, yeah,
It
Yeah.
always
It's a
flies so
whirlwind.
much faster than I expect. Like literally, I was
yeah.
thinking Monty, A Cruel Thirst. It's like not that far, not
I know
that
you have
Yeah.
far.
pretty much have two books out now.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it feels like nothing's happening and everything's happening all at once. It's like a very weird,
Mm.
it's just a weird profession.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It really takes a special kind of person, I think, to like
Yeah.
be able to weather the long periods of nothing and then the sudden influxes of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I
It's
want to hear a bit,
exciting.
I want you to tell our listeners a little bit more about your book.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I just noticed that I see Sinner's Isle in the back of
Oh
Melanie's
yeah.
bookshelf, and then I see the Castle of Horrors on. Nice. I like it. I like it.
That's true.
Uh,
Yeah, I gotta represent.
so
Yours
cute.
is over here too. Daughter
Oh,
of
wow.
Calamity. She's somewhere over there. And I'm gonna buy another copy.
Oh my
Another one. That's
gosh.
the arc I have. She's all tabbed up
Yes,
because
the arc
you
is
write
special.
beautiful words.
Limited edition now. But
Yes.
yes.
But
All
yeah,
right.
tell us about Daughter of Calamity.
Yeah, so Daughter of Calamity is set in 1930s Shanghai, and it is a historical noir dark fantasy about a cabaret girl who uncovers a underground trade of women's faces.
Did you
Yeah.
hear that, Melanie? Did you hear that?
I'm like, I need to hear it again. I'm shooketh.
It's I'm speechless right now just thinking about this book because it's
Yeah.
so fucking cool and different and the words you write and I just can't like gush about this book enough. It's so amazing. So again,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm honored you
Um
think so.
oh, I do. I really and truly do. And the fact that this is your debut is nuts. So like seriously, I'm
Mm.
so glad you're like doing two like going on a little book tour and getting to celebrate because it's truly so gorgeous. And the cover,
The
Oh
forget
yeah,
about it.
cover is lush.
the cover, I feel so blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about how that cover came to be?
So the cover, when I sent in the like my ideas, so I have two covers. One is the US version, the UK version, and they're both really different, but they both hit the sweet spot in different ways. So I've heard
Oh.
that American readers prefer when there's a person on the cover.
Ooh.
So my US cover has a model posing in a blur, and she's kind of like dolled up in the 1930s fashion with like a red lip, earrings, and there's like a blur of waves and feathers.
Mm.
And then my UK Australian cover is a dark background. I think the final copy it's a black background, and I haven't unboxed my final copy because the arc for the UK Australian version is a blue background. But I saw some people sharing like yeah, one of my friends saw it in a bookshelf in Sweden, and
Ah.
she sent me a photo, and the background's actually black, with these like gold, green, and pink designs on it that
Mm.
um touch on certain plot points. And so I had heard that, yeah, and so I feel like both of these covers capture different parts, essences of the novel in such special ways that I am I feel very lucky to have two gorgeous covers.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely yes. I'd love to know what inspired you to write this story.
Ooh, so I was actually inspired to write the story when I was in college. I picked up a side job dancing in a club.
Yeah.
I was an international student,
Wow.
and so this was a very interesting experience for me because I met a lot of dancers who were, and surprisingly, if you read the book, some trends throughout history have carried from
Mm.
1934 to, oh, I don't know if it's true in 2024, but in 2014 it was true. There was still a lot of presence from Russia. So there were a lot of Russian models and dancers
Mm.
that I met in Beijing. There were a lot of Chinese girls of all sorts of backgrounds. Some came from really wealthy families, and some came from more working class or middle class families.
Mm.
Although during Jingwen's time in Daughter of Calamity, most of the dancers would be more from a working class background. And during this time, I danced in two clubs. One was in like the outskirts of the city. So it was like mainly a native Chinese crowd that would come. And they actually didn't, they weren't that into the dancing. They were like, also I did pole dancing and then I did some acrobatic dance
Wow.
and I did like acrobatics. And they were like, oh, we see that on TV, but like our favorite thing to do is to sing. Like we like karaoke. And I was like, no offense taken, but um, I'm just glad to be here. And then on the other hand, in the kind of more student district, that club I danced at, it felt pretty much like I was back home in San Francisco. It was very, very similar. And kind of what surprised me about that club was it was nestled next to all these like historical temples and like old structures that had been there for probably centuries. Um, and so you kind of get these like glistening, throbbing clubs playing EDM and then these silent temples. And then after the club closed, it would be really hot. So I would wait for my ride home on the steps of these temples and I would get creeped out every night. I would be like, this is really creepy. Like I don't know if the old gods are offended by EDM. I don't know what they think of dubstep. They probably hate it. Um, it's kind of where I got the seed for a Daughter of Calamity was kind of the
Mm.
meeting of these two worlds, the modern, flashing, very Western inspired nightclub and how it came to be there next to these ancient sleeping temples full of possibly offended gods who hate dubstep.
This
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
so cool, and it's even cooler that you kind of like lived the vibes that are in the book. Like what a cool way to have that idea come
Yeah,
to you.
that was
Yeah.
probably the most exciting period of my life. And it took me like maybe 5 or 6 years to digest everything. And then I was like, it's a great story idea. I want to write
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh.
Mm.
That is so cool. And honestly, like it shows in the book. You can feel all of those things that you were explaining just now. Kind of like the battle of like these opposite ends of like life and history, and it's just like mishing together. Yeah, I felt it. Like as you were explaining, I was like, okay, I totally see everything
I'm so
that
thrilled
you
you
put
think
into
so.
it. Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's so cool. What has been the hardest part of your journey so far?
Probably, to be completely honest, staying excited through all these rewrites, rewrite after rewrite. You're both authors, I'm sure you know. After the first draft where everything's exciting and you're just spilling words on the page, then it's like you read the
Mm.
same line over and over again and kind of trying to find what keeps you like that spark ignited. Like keeping it, I mean, it's kind of just like having a long-term relationship, like keeping the spark alive through 4 or 5 years to publication and onwards. I think that's the greatest challenge for me.
Oh yeah. No, that's real. That's real right there. Like
How do you
I
do it?
I don't know. I was just like nodding my head like, mm-hmm. Yep. It's true. It's like after, especially after that first like magic moment of like, I finished this book. It's so good. And then going back, the first revision's not too bad. But yeah, that fifth, sixth, 10th revision into copy edits, it gets rough. Yeah, I
Mm.
feel you.
What do you think has
Mhm.
been the best part, looking now on the other side of things?
I think the best part, there's always two. One is going to be the slightly cheesy answer, but I would say definitely the community. again, I think I've met so many cool, interesting people from all around the world. I think that's what's really cool about the writing community. You meet all these people you wouldn't meet in your like pocket of the world that you exist in your daily life. You meet people with different interests. You meet people of like different ages. I think the youngest author friends I have are like 19, 20 years old, and the oldest ones are probably in their 60s. And it's just so cool to meet so many different people. And you all share this one thing. And because that one thing involves a lot of eventually, hopefully, it involves a lot of meeting, chatting, sharing, and then I hope to be able to travel more. You end up being able to visit really, really cool places. I think everywhere that I've traveled since I made writing friends, I've been able to meet up with at least one person I know.
That's so
That's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Are
just
you,
I hope that continues. I mean I haven't been to like really out like off beaten out of the way places yet. But I hope someday that I'll continue to meet people. Yes.
yes, it is. It's really a beautiful community. And
Mhm.
it's truly like there's no one that's gonna get you like authors, like writers, because if you have good news to share, people who aren't necessarily in the business aren't going to really know how huge that news is. You know what I mean? Like other authors were like, "Oh my fuck, yes." Yeah. I love the community. What do you do to fill your creative well? Would dance be the thing or what else we got going on?
I think dance is one of the big ones. I sometimes get questions from friends that are asking, are you going to try to do paid dance opportunities? Do you want to teach someday, etc.? And the answer is no, because I think it's really great to have one thing that you truly enjoy that you're not trying to like turn into a side
Yes.
hustle or a career. And I think that having that keeps me really grounded, I think. Like when I get all up in the like, I don't know, weeds and knots of worrying about like how many people have pre-ordered my book, etc. I think having one, at least one hobby that I truly do just for the enjoyment, really helps me ground myself and reset and
Mm,
remember
Yes.
that all
that's
of that. I mean, it matters to some extent, but it's not what matters the most to me.
mm, that's very wise. And I think like and hard to do. Like I know a while back I started doing clay earrings and I was came this close
Are
twice
you
to
wearing
opening.
any?
What these ones aren't mine today, sadly, but I was
Okay.
this close to opening an Etsy store twice with them. And the first time was like a blip, but the second time I like started to like create a bunch of them. I was like, right, let's do this. And I literally felt like I hit a physical wall at one point, and I was just like, no, this can't be another creative thing that you are like. It was when I started making multiples. Up until that point, I was like, yeah, great, I'll open an Etsy shop. It'll be fun. But I realized that what you said about your dancing, I was like, no, this is sacred. This is like private. I don't want to do this for fun. I'm going to just make it for my friends and for me, and that's it. And it feels kind
Yeah.
of good to like actively claim something like that because yeah, it's too easy to be like, how can I monopolize this? Because that's like how our brains are geared in this society, sadly.
Yes.
That's true.
I love that you
No.
mentioned that. I'm glad that you have one too. Hopefully every author has one.
I'm working on it. I'm working on my hobby.
Angela called out. It's
Working on
okay.
it.
You have
My
children.
hobby, I honestly, I just like watching shows.
No, I mean that counts. I
But I
don't watch
used
enough
to,
shows.
no, I used to like love dancing. And I
Mm.
always see yours and I was like, ah, if only there was something so cool like that near me. And I'm sure there is. Maybe I'll look into it. But
You've also
I just
raised two
love.
children.
Yeah,
Like
Well,
exactly.
yeah.
And you
maybe
have a dog.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
have
I've been
plants that
busy.
aren't infested with.
Yeah, I've been busy. It's fine. It's fine. But now I'm not. No, I am. It's okay. I'm doing fine, guys. I'm doing good. Um,
when the
sorry.
time comes, you'll know. You'll long to
Yes.
fill that space and it will happen naturally. I
Yeah.
think if it
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
like work, it's no deal.
It's no deal. Well, and it's something I feel like I've been struggling with being a writer. Once the like it started becoming not a hobby but a job, like trying to balance that, the magic and the joy and the excitement with like, oh, I have to keep doing this or else I won't get paid, or you know what I mean? So yeah, I this last probably like 6 months, I've just been in this like toiling mindset of like, this isn't that fun. But I'm back. I'm good. I
Mm.
figured it out. It's money is great, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah, that's it, eh? As long as there's roofs over our heads, we're lucky. We're doing pretty good, eh?
Yeah, true. And it
Trying
goes
to.
in waves, I think.
Mm.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I'll be good today and then tomorrow it'll be a whole different subject. um anyway, what is one thing you'd like readers to know about your book maybe before they start reading it?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think I would say that some of the characters, or probably most of the characters, make good decisions and bad decisions, and that I wrote these characters to be hopefully realistic rather than heroic.
Mm.
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
I
Because I
love that. I've been,
not too many spoilers.
That's good.
yes. That's
Mm-hmm.
something I've just started watching The Last of Us finally. It's something I immediately thought with those characters. They're not perfect characters. They don't always do what you want, but like they're very real. It makes them feel real because let's be real, none of us are making the right decisions all the time.
Like
Nope.
my $7 coffee
Yeah. You've
every day.
earned it.
You deserve it. You deserve it 100%, especially during debut year and
Yeah.
the years beyond even. Just keep drinking
Oh,
it.
that'll be the excuse I tell myself. I'll print
Yeah.
it on the wall. Like Angela said I could do it.
I
Yes, you
say
have
as
my full
well.
support. Yeah, you have our support.
Tell
Well,
it to Angela.
I want to
Exactly.
get to like one of our favorite questions, which is like looking back at all you've accomplished, what advice would you give a younger version of yourself before you started this whole journey?
Oh, I think that for me, definitely another struggle that I really had, like going way back beyond daughter of calamity, is probably a fear of rejection or comparing to others. I think that's very easy in this industry when everything is so visible on social media. Successes are super visible on social media, and that's a good thing. But I had to go through my own journey to learn how to be happy for people that I was feeling jealous of, and to learn that um, jealousy is a natural thing. I don't, I would say that these days I think I've sufficiently trained myself that I don't feel it as like that
Mhm.
negative feeling anymore. I more see, this is something I wish I had, like something I aspire to. But I think definitely in my early mid 20s, that's something I struggled with a lot. And I actually stopped writing for a couple of years because I was like, you know what, there's no point. I'm already behind.
Mm.
But I mean, obviously that was so ridiculous. Like anyone can become an author at any age. Writing is always there. And these days, more and more for myself, I've just been writing for me. I started keeping a like planner diary 1 or 2 years ago. And I spend a lot of time on it. Like I put stickers on it, I draw on it, I make it perfect, and like no one will ever see it except me. And I think me a decade ago would not really understand the value in that, but now I'm like, this matters to me as much as writing that I do for um my career.
Yes,
Mm,
that's beautiful.
yeah.
I love that.
And I love that you say that like it's something you learned because I'm like I really really believe that that mindset is something you have to like work on. I don't think like I think the jealousy part is a natural initial human response, but like actually taking the time to like reframe and learn like think your way around that is so powerful and it honestly in the end makes for the best community. But I see like we are down to less than a minute. I don't know when it's going to cut us off. I
Time
don't know
flies.
where the time went. I've been looking forward to this chat with you for so long and yeah, we just adore you and we just want every good thing for you. I'm so jealous that you two are going to be together soon.
I will send pictures, but I mean, I adore both of you too since the beginning. I see you two on my social media every day. It brightens my day, honestly, when it's the first thing I see in the morning. I follow all your
Oh.
adventures.
Oh, we love you so much,
Yes.
honestly. I'm so
And since
proud of
this
you.
podcast started, I was like, someday I hope to be on it. And